Strange thing, isn't it, when you think about it with Meghan Markle? Because if you recall, when she first sat down for that now infamous interview with Michelle Hussein for the BBC, she said she couldn't wait to hit the ground running to get involved in all those charitable events, of course, that the royal family are known worldwide for. And no, she didn't mind giving up her career. After all, this was her new life now, and she fully understood what was expected of her. Well, as we saw as it unfolded, sadly, it didn't necessarily work out that way, did it? Clearly, Meghan, as I often said at the time, I never envisaged Meghan Markle on a wet Wednesday, say in Rotherham, going around to open a community centre. She liked the adoration. She certainly enjoyed all the people coming out to meet her, even though apparently she felt that she should be paid for this. That was the only high point for her. Frequently on those events, she looked bored, disinterested, and couldn't wait to move on, no matter who that particular person was she was meeting. So of course you would have thought on a personal level that she may have thought, well, as this is for me, I could put some more backbone into it. Perhaps I could make a difference, maybe even make some money. Well, apparently this is now the new problem. As ever, let me explain. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you today. Lovely the fact that you enjoyed the video about the wonderful gentleman Derek Guyler, longest running voice in London's West End. If you haven't seen it, do check out the video. Fascinating background story. Somebody said to me, by the way, who gets the royalties? Always somebody looking for the money, isn't there? Have you noticed? But what was interesting there is apparently I did some research and it was a one-off payment because Dame Agatha Christie didn't feel that the play would run that long. She didn't have that many hopes for that play, you see. Told you how wrong could you be in the world of business. So I believe it was a one-off payment. I don't know. There's no record as to whether he still gets paid or any residuals today. Fascinating story, though. As I say, check it out if you've got a moment. Another royal story that I do find fascinating is the fact that both Harry and Meghan like to keep banging on about the fact that they're all about charity. In fact, if you recall, Prince Harry said his life was always about charity, always was, always will be. Now, charity really, as they often say, that very strange phrase, doesn't it, begins at home. Clearly not in the world of Montecito, because last year, if you took out basically the days that they did some charitable work for the Invictus Games over in Germany, it totaled about 13 days of charitable contributions. That's right. Now, you could say, well, she's a mother of 2 young children, too busy, etc. And as we saw at the end of last year, those particular things, donations, plummeted to an almighty drop. We're not quite sure who the final other person was. But what's interesting now is that Meghan Markle herself is literally being told, look, if you want donations, if you want people to back you, and this is by her team around her, then you're going to have to work hard, be visually seen, and do a lot of charitable work if you want to get that level of donation. You see, both she and Harry felt their names alone, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, would be enough just to pull in people wanting to back them for naturally unseen work. What have they actually done? Delivered a few meals, making sure, of course, during the pandemic, they were packed. Then we had Meghan turning up at that memorial. Terrible situation there. And then, of course, they decided at the end of last year to release a rather snazzy video, basically culminating in Meghan hugging lots of people and laughing and clapping, but with no real substance. The real deal of the Archewell Foundation is now hanging by a thread because, quite frankly, they could either liquidate it, close it down, or whatever. But what they really need is big donators. And what's happened, even with the release of that video, none are coming forward. Her team, of course, to the William Morris Endeavour Agency, is saying if you want to continue down this path, you need to be visually seen out there, perhaps joining mother and toddler groups, that type of thing, warm and welcoming societies that may benefit from your patronage, and more importantly, perhaps the people that donate to them may donate to the Archewell Foundation. Now, as I said, given the fact that they've totaled about 13 days in a year, do we truly see Meghan Markle buckling down, or will she be looking for a huge, rich benefactor to bail out the Archewell Foundation once again? It is a developing story, and I know how this will be ending. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.